It's the mother, father, grandmother, grandfather of all games. Don't miss it.
Last time I met this man was a couple of months ago. After that, I went to Bulawayo, he went to Belgium, then I went to Barbados, then he went to Britain. Between us, we've covered like 5 continents. And now, drum roll, as all the eyes of the world move to Asia for the next few months, Ravi and Raunak are reunited. Mr. Shastri, it's so good to see you back at home in Bombay.
And it's good to hear you on television. I don't watch much television, but I got an opportunity in the UK. And was it your first time?
It was my first India series. I did, and my first sort of major tour and first test match. So a lot of firsts.
You seem quite a natural. Good.
Sweet. Chalo, I'm done. Show is over. But cheers. Thank you very much. This is a coffee at Karan's restaurant in Bombay. So thank you very much. We are at the lovely Cafe Numa, just a stone's throw away from Ravi Shastri's mansion in Kolaba. And we are discussing the Asia Cup. Seen the opening game, Pakistan looking good, India Pakistan coming up. I must straight up start with Shaheen Afridi, because I want to know how much time was spent discussing someone like Shaheen, especially since you were part of that Indian camp in that T20 World Cup in 2021. He's going to be a threat, no?
He will always be a threat if he can swing the new ball at his pace. And he's fully fit now. I don't think he was fit in the T20 World Cup in Australia. He was way short of match practice, and it showed. But having said that, in this format of the game with 10 overs there, with a new cherry in his hand, he'll be a challenge. I think the challenge for Afridi is his second and third stints. So, as much as people will talk about him, I'll be watching his second and third stints because there's an opportunity there for batting sides.
Did he ever get more than regular mention as an opposition bowler? When you come up against Pakistan, was there more time spent on discussing Shaheen?
Not really, because when you see, obviously you take him very seriously because a left armer with a new ball, any country of the world, much like Wasim Akram at his pomp, you had to know what he was capable of. So the Indian team knows what he is capable of if you drop your guard in the first 3 or 4 overs. But I look at it the other way. You know when he's at his best. You know when he can falter. Wait for that opportunity. So, I always look at the other side. Rather than putting all eggs in the basket and giving too much importance to one individual. When you look at their attack, there's great balance there. There's plenty of talent there, which they always have, and they have that natural ability. So it'll be good fun.
So a Rohit or a Kohli, where we know that's the big contest, Shaheen versus Rohit, Shaheen versus Kohli, maybe Shaheen versus Shubman. But in your experience, it's not like a Rohit or Kohli would take the video analyst aside and perhaps do a little more time on Shaheen.
No, I don't think they'll overthink. In fact, they'll look at the other way. If they can get the upper hand early. And upper hand doesn't mean just hitting boundaries. Even seeing him off with a new ball, it immediately sets you up, for his second stint or his third stint, where you probably have a better opportunity of getting after him. Having said that, the pressure is on him as well. In any India-Pakistan game, there's nerves, and if you don't get it right early doors, you will go for runs because India has those kind of players. At the top of the order. If you don't get it right, you're going to go for a couple of boundaries quick when the pressure is back, on the other side.
We're obviously all talking about Rohit and Kohli versus Shaheen, but how do you see Shubman versus Shaheen going? Because it looks like this is Shubman Gill's time. This is going to be a serious challenge. This pace attack has been touted as many as the best in the world. Naseem, Haris and Shaheen. But Shubman versus Shaheen, how do you see that?
Oh, it'll be a terrific contest because he's a good player of fast bowling, Shubman Gill. If anything, he'll have to be watchful, not worried, watchful of the movement at that pace. And he's a boundary hitter. He's a shot maker. He's a good puller. He's a good cutter. He's got every shot in the book. And if he gets off to a good start, I think he's always fun to watch.
No KL Rahul for at least 2 games. Now you were the one who said, I heard some of your comments in the UK when you were covering the 100, Tilak is hot, put him in there, and they've listened to you, they've put him in there. Do you see Tilak Verma starting? And of course we have to put in context that if there's no KL Rahul, then Ishan Kishan almost certainly has to play. So how does India's top 4-5 shape up?
See, you got to see current form. I mean, the team management will be looking at who's striking it well in the nets. They'll also be looking for the right combination. Right, left, number of right-handers, left-handers, and then accordingly judging. Ishan Kishan will definitely play, and if he plays, he has to bat at the top.
Okay, so then what happens to the rest?
Yeah, but then there has to be flexibility. There has to be flexibility.
So it'll be Rohit and Ishan with
It could
Shubman
be
3?
Shubman and Ishan and Rohit at 3 or Rohit at 4. That adjustment has to be made.
You don't think that's like a big shift?
Not at all.
away?
They are experienced players. They played over how many matches? You tell me. Between them, 500, 600. So if they can't adapt, who will adapt?
Rohit said at that press conference.
I'd rather have a senior player adapting than a young player.
Okay, but
Much easier for him.
Do you subscribe to that school of thought that your openers should be set? You can't sort of.
I'd like a right hand, left hand combination, especially with Shaheen Afridi there and the kind of attack Pakistan has.
What I got from Rohit's responses at that squad announcement, I quite like that. Press conference after the squad, talking with the chairman of selectors also talking. I think we're one step away from your idea that we should live stream the selection meetings. So very good. I think we're listening to you. But he said we're not going to mess with the top order. So let's assume that Rohit is pretty clear that he and Shubman will open. And he said, I think what I gathered from him was that even Virat Kohli, he wants him at 3, that's the position. Do you see a place for Ishan Kishan at 4? Can he be effective there, or is that
No,
just
then
not?
by that time you need guys like Surya and Tilak, or if he's playing, at that number, then he has to drop back to 6. So it's either 1 or 6.
For Kishan?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would imagine.
All right.
Because if you have proper players there, like proper batters, you want real middle order batsmen batting at the numbers they're used to. Surya is not used to batting at 6. Neither is Tilak.
But, but neither is Kishan then, no?
But then you have to, that's the adjustment. You have to make either him at the top or at the back. You have to see where he is more useful. Also, you have to see what the team wants at that stage. What is in the best interest of the team? Is it Rohit, Shubman, Virat, Tilak, Surya, Hardik, Kishan, or whatever? Or just between Surya and Tilak 1? You have to see what is the best combination. And, you could try, you would go with your best combination very first game because it's Pakistan.
Yeah, they've also got the bigger picture now of wanting to seal their World Cup squad. It has to be announced after the second game. They've got 17 here, 18 if you count Samson. That has to be trimmed to 15. I'm sure they have a plan for Tilak Verma. Now, ideally, for an uncapped ODI player, you want to start the tournament with him. Is there merit in dropping or resting one of the regular guys so that Tilak gets game time? Because right now, I don't see how you'll be able to see Tilak also, give Shreyas a return also.
No, you see, if Shreyas and KL Rahul are fit, fully fit, obviously they will get the nod ahead of everybody.
So Rahul's out for 2 games.
Yeah, he's out for 2 games. So between Shreyas and Tilak, obviously Shreyas will get the nod first. No question. If he's fully fit, he deserves it. Because of the yards he's put in the last 18 months or 24 months, where he's been one of India's most consistent batsmen. So there's no question about that. If he's fully fit and he's hitting the ball well in the nets, he gets the first opportunity. Tilak is young, he will get his opportunity. As much as he's a left-hander and things of that sort, he will be there in the mix. But your main players who have done the job for you and are back in the mix, fully fit, hitting it well, should get the nod.
All right. So from what I gather from your thoughts, given Rahul is out, Kishan has to play, and therefore it will be Rohit and Kishan ideally for you, or Shubman and Kishan with Rohit, Virat forming the top 4. Then you'll have Shreyas Iyer at 5 because he gets the nod ahead, and following that come the all-rounders.
See that KL Rahul's not playing is a big blow. Yeah. Because what was very clear that team management wanted was Rohit, Shubman, Virat, Shreyas, KL, and then Hardik, and then seeing the balance after that. Clearly that was the idea. So, that's a big blow because he's a quality player, KL Rahul. That's why I said at the beginning, make sure he's fully fit. Because you can always, even if he didn't play the Asia Cup, he could still have been picked. Put him through some matches somewhere before that, before the third, or whatever the cutoff period is for the World Cup squad, and pick him. And pick him even if it is, let him play 2 matches against whoever or whatever. Pick him. You have Australia before the World Cup in 3 one-day games. Play him there. Even if someone gets injured there, you can get a replacement. So if he goes through those 3 games, or any player you're doubting injury, who's been picked, play them in those 3. If they go through that 3, you get all the answers.
What I find as a really big conundrum for the Indian team now is that they have to announce their squad after the second game for the World Cup, and KL can't play any of those games. So, is it fair to say now that you can't name him in the World Cup squad?
No, you can.
No, you still can.
Of course.
And if he's not fit, you replace him.
Yeah. You have the opportunity. So I think that 3 one-day games against Australia is crucial. And it's very good it's happening. I think it's good planning, it's good thinking to keep those 3 games there. Because that will tell you, first, it's good competition. Then the guys who have come back from injury, you will have played a whole Asia Cup. Who knows, you might have an injury in the middle. That guy might have to come back. He's already picked in the World Cup squad. So those 3 games for me become very, very important.
Certainly, yeah, for someone like KL Rahul.
Yeah.
And I think as far as the rules go, it's easier to name someone and change them before the World Cup. Afterwards, I think it becomes a process.
The problem would have been if you didn't have matches. Then there was an issue.
So you can name him in the squad. Let's assume he plays Australia, and then you have a couple of warm-ups also, so you'll at least have 4 or 5 games. Okay. So KL Rahul still not completely out. My last question on the batters is simply, again, from my reading, it seems like if India have to trim from 17 to 15, only one of Tilak or Surya will be able to make that final squad.
Yes, now that Shreyas is there.
So let's assume Shreyas takes his chance. But between Tilak and Surya, you got an uncapped ODI player who's giving us a lot of promise and is a left-hander. You got Surya, who's clearly not lived up to his potential in ODI cricket, but you know what he can do if he gets going in 1 or 2 games also. Tough one.
Tough one. Surya is my choice. No question, because of what you said.
So extend on that. Why?
What he can do. He can, once he smells the coffee on how to play one-day cricket, and it's not rocket science for him. It's, 1 or 2 good innings that he plays. He's a game changer. Absolute game changer. I don't think any opposition would like to see him out in the middle or see him in the team they're playing against, his name. Because they know this guy can take a game away in a matter of minutes. And there aren't too many players in world cricket who can do that. Like you have Joss Butler, one who can do that. You have maybe 2 or 3 others. And he is one of them. If he gets it right, he can do it.
So Surya is someone you would still want.
100%, because if there is injury in the middle order,
that's the player you want coming in halfway through the tournament. Interesting. Okay. Bowlers. Siraj, Shami, Bumrah all fit and playing together, which is rare and wonderful for Indian cricket. Prasidh is in the mix too. Again, I don't see all of them making it to the final World Cup squad. Bumrah's straight away, he's your first name on the list. Who's your second best bowler? Is it Siraj? Is it Shami?
So, guys who have played over the last 12, 18 months, they get the first pick. Bumrah for what he's done. So it's Shami, Bumrah, Siraj. These are your 3 definite. There's Hardik who can bowl. All depends how many you want in India. You'll want probably some spinners in the lineup. So you have to see in the 15, how many fast bowlers do you want? Now that Hardik is bowling, do you want 4 plus Hardik or do you want 3 plus Hardik?
Jadeja surely plays, right, for the balance? 100%. Yeah, so that's 7. So you're left with 4, which means Kuldeep. As of now, he's the only wrist spinner. So Kuldeep at 8 and 3 seamers. So that's Bumrah, Shami, Siraj for you.
Yep.
and you are not worried about batting ending at 7, therefore you must play either Aksar or Shardul at 8, and then only 2 out of Bumrah, Shami, Siraj can play then.
Yeah. And that will happen, I think. 2 will play, Hardik will bowl, and you will have 2 spinners and another option. So you need that other option.
Chehal's omission?
Very tight, very tough. Yeah. It's hard, to be honest. I've been in that.
Fair, but because of the balance.
It's
of
between
the team.
Kuldeep and Chahal. So Kuldeep, I believe, is bowling really well now. And the fact that he can take it away from the left-handers gives him that edge. Because you already have Jadeja. If you take Akshar, you already have Akshar there. So you need someone who will take it away from the left-handers and gives you that variety. Raunak, the kind of players we have at the moment, I think this is India's strongest one-day team since 2011. When you look at youth and experience and variety and balance, this for me is the strongest Indian team, the group of players that exists now, the 15 or 17, since 2011. So potentially, I'm not just saying favorites for Asia Cup, favorites for the World Cup as well.
I see where you're coming from when you say strongest. Those are big
And
words.
for our conditions, for
Those
these
are-
conditions.
Yeah, those are big words. It's one of the strongest teams, but is it a settled team?
It is.
Just in terms of position.
Yeah, how many players have not played with each other in the last 2 years? You tell me, one player, Bumrah was injured, but he's always been in the mix. Who has come from the outside? Nobody. In the last 24 months, all these guys have been together.
The exception being perhaps Tilak. That's it.
Tilak,
Yeah.
if he comes in,
Right.
Tilak, or Prasid, he's not been around that long if he comes in. But otherwise, they've been together, and that is why, that's one of the main reasons why. They played together. I mean, how you wish you had Pant, Rishabh.
That would have confused us even more.
Yeah,
but-
no confusion with Pant.
Yeah, he would have got it. Yeah.
Pant confuses opposition.
All right, let's hope he's doing well and recovering quickly. India-Pakistan, we started talking about it. Just to close up the chat on it, we keep saying we build it up big time, and the players and the team management always say it's just another game. Come on, it's not seriously just another game. There must
It
be
is
something.
just another game. As a player or as a part of the team management, I mean, we know the importance of it. And it is in your subconscious mind. As a player, as a coach, as a selector, whatever. But at the end of it, it's another game. Once you cross the boundary line, the toss is done, you're batting or fielding, you got to do what you do well. As you would do against any other opposition.
So there was never anything different done from you as a head coach at your time, or to just keep the sort of nerves settled when it's
In
a
fact,
Pakistan
that's what's
game.
important. It's to keep calm and treat it as just another game. And not overhype it in your mind, which makes you think differently. Your game has to be the same as it would be in any other game. But because of that subconscious pressure, it's the mentally tough guys who normally get it right. When I say mentally tough guys who normally get it right in an India-Pakistan game. Yeah.
Prediction for the opening game at least, India-Pakistan?
I would say India start as favorites, yeah. I said it's the strongest team since 2011, mix of players.
Strong words. I'm going to come back to you and make
And
our
a captain who's seasoned. He understands this terrain better than most.
All right, that is our chat for the big India-Pakistan game, the first of potentially 3.
But listen, you asked me that. Having said that, Pakistan has narrowed the gap. I think if you look at the last 7-8 years, there was a gap between India and Pakistan. When you looked at the strength of both teams, man to man, there was a gap. But Pakistan have narrowed it now. They're a very good side now. So you have to be on top of your game.
And a lot of credit for Pakistan being such a good side goes to Babar Azam, who has started the Asia Cup in terrific fashion. Yes, it was against Nepal, but it was nothing that we've not seen before from Babar, 150 plus, terrific numbers in the last 12 months. it seems like we'll bring up the Babar-Kohli chat in comparison positively rather than try to figure out who's better. This seems like their format, fair to say. Babar and Kohli both, like all other format, test cricket of course as well. But in white ball cricket, they just seem like a different force. Do you see similarities between Babar and Kohli?
Yes, they both need time, a little bit of time, and they get that time in a 50 over game. And Kohli's been there, done it. So let's not discuss Kohli. He's a giant in the game. People keep bringing it up. Kohli, abhi kab banayega? अरे तुम इतने दिन सोए थे क्या? कि क्या करेगा वो?
But he had a lean phase.
Lean phase. Who doesn't? Who's not had a lean phase? You tell me one guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a lean phase in life also. Off the field, on the field. Or you are a perfectionist, so you might have your graph must be only like that. Yeah, but
nobody cares about my
you're human, man.
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah, but Babar, I mean, is a fabulous player. What I like is the balance, the time he has, shot selection, and when he gets in, he makes it count. He converts those 30 starts, 40 starts into hundreds, and big hundreds. And it's so important. We keep saying, go out there, play number of balls. But if you actually look at one-day cricket, if one in the top 3 or 4 gets 100, you're 300 plus. When you look at both the sides and their batting line, in India, definitely. If one of the top 3 gets 100, you're 300 past with the batting lineup you have. And never go by form before an India-Pakistan game. Because I just mentioned earlier, that the tough-minded, mentally strong guys, they might have not done much 6 months prior. But come the India-Pakistan game, they wake up. They know the importance of that game. They know where it can catapult them if they do well. And, they get, their juices are fired up.
Now, I want you to, as we close this chat, give our viewers a special preview because even before they get a taste of Ravi Shastri in the center with Rohit and Babar, why don't you give us a little build-up right now itself?
It's the mother, father, grandmother, grandfather of all games. Don't miss it.
Brilliant. Done. Thank you very much. This was Ravi Shastri.
Thank you, sir.